Yo, what's up, everybody? The Guys Podcast. We have another dope episode. Tiffany's gonna lead this topic. Today we got Tiffany, Taria Costa. I'm Akhtar Muhammad. Tiffany, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Ty, what's up, bro? How's everything? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Another day, bro. We
You
here
ready? You ready?
for sure.
Let's go. Tiff, take it away.
All right. So tonight we're going to be discussing toxic masculinity. Um, Diving into this topic is either going to get folks real quiet or real loud. Um, but we're going to talk about what it is, what it isn't, how it plays out in relationships and friendships, and at the end, how men show up for themselves. Um, Mo, Ty, what is y'all understanding of the term? And I'm gonna break it down, but have you guys ever been accused of it? And what does it mean to you?
Mm-hmm.
So, Ty, what is your understanding of the term toxic masculinity?
Um, I have so much to say on this, and I was gonna switch it over to. I was gonna ask you a question, but you don't respond a question with a question. But so to me, toxic masculinity is this concept or idea that there are certain traits that men exhibit that are dangerous to relationships or society. Um, Really, I think it's a control. It's a control mechanism. I think and it's very dangerous to use that word. But I'm gonna just keep it short because you didn't ask me all that. But to me, it's like what I just said. Is that a sufficient answer?
Yeah, absolutely. Mo, how about you? What's your understanding of the term?
First, was one of the questions, and I have to. Wait, first of all, can you hear me clear? Is my sound right?
Yes.
All right, and I should have like next time. I promise I'm gonna have a notepad and pen. So instead of interrupting, I'll be able to write notes and just come back to it. But if correct me if I'm wrong, but you asked me one of the questions. What you asked me and Ty was, have we been accused of it?
Yes.
Yes, I definitely have been accused of it on multiple occasions, and I've been accused of it because women thinking that I'm withholding my emotions or I'm not expressing my emotions, or because I have lack of reaction to certain things, they think that I'm emotionless. Um, Also, I don't really believe in the phrase toxic masculinity. I don't think it exists. There's nothing because it's like an oxymoron. There's nothing toxic about masculinity. I think that there's toxic women, there's toxic men. I
Mm-hmm.
think toxicity is something in itself. But when you combine the two, you can't combine something negative with something that's positive. So I don't believe in it.
Okay. Okay.
It's a buzzword created by um, feminists.
Oh, I was going to get into the history. So since you said that buzzword feminist, I'm gonna read I'm gonna read this because I want to get the history correct.
And so I feel like you didn't really dive deep into it. You have anything
You
else?
didn't.
No, I'm being reserved because I'm trying to answer what is asked because I have so much to say that my time will come. But I have a lot to say about this topic.
I'm
All
gonna
right, Yoda. All right, Yoda. Scott.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna read the history of the word just so we as a panel and our listeners have a better understanding. So the concept,
Source too. Like state the source.
okay.
If you can, if you can, if you can. We could just come back to it later if you can right
Hold on. Okay, because it's searching. I Googled it,
now. All right.
but there are some footnotes at the end.
Okay.
Okay, so the term itself is fairly new within the 20th century. It's closely linked to R.W. Connell's, an Australian sociologist, theory of hegemonic masculinity. So he wrote a book in 87 called Gender and Power,
Mhm.
and in 95 called Masculinities. Hegemonic masculinity means the culturally dominant idea of manhood that prioritizes dominance, control, toughness, and suppression of emotion. Now, later on in the phrase was popularized in the 80s and 90s by a men's movement. The author of this men's movement was Shepherd Bliss, and it was a group exploring men's emotional health and masculinity through poetry, myth, and therapy. Bliss and others used it to distinguish healthy masculinity, courage, leadership, care from toxic traits, violence, emotional repression, and dominance at all costs. It entered academic literature in the 90s and 2000s in psychology and sociology research, often in studies on male violence, bullying, and gender socialization.
Okay.
Beautifully right.
Thank you.
I'm
So,
glad you actually go. Keep going. You're
no,
doing
no,
this
no. It's
wonderfully.
like,
Hegonomic, hegonomic masculinity was something I was gonna mention because I actually looked up the definition of these words. I have them right here. So I'm glad that's why I'm quiet because I know you're like a teacher. So if I let you talk, you'll say what I probably am gonna say anyway, and I'll add on.
so with that basis and understanding that one, it actually wasn't women. And I thought it was too until I decided to, let me research the subject. Where did this term come from, right? And like who started using it? It was actually men who came up with this whole concept, and white men at that who did.
Yeah, but I'm not
Mhm.
surprised that men it was a man who came up with this concept and with that phrase. I'm not surprised because current day feminism can only survive because men push it, right? Like I was saying, I've always said this, any type of social construct or any political party, in order for it to have legs to be able to take off, it has to have some type of forceful mechanism behind it. There has to be people willing to die. There has to be muscle behind movements, right? There has to
Hmm.
be muscle behind movements. So if it wasn't for men pushing certain agendas, a lot of the things that females are the face of would never survive. So I'm not shocked or surprised one bit that it was a man that came up with this term because a
So
lot of times it's always the elite who have certain agendas,
Hmm.
and I have my own theories on why feminism was pushed. I have my own theories that's backed
um,
by certain facts. But yeah,
to add on to that, I'm also not surprised because men are naturally more philosophical, and I believe that when you talk about hegemonic masculinity, you're talking about a philosophy.
Hmm.
That's why it's like it says it's cultural and these things like that. It's a how you believe you should act and how you believe that what is your role. Like, see, it's important for a man to know or to ponder these things because we can destroy this world. You know what I mean? So us being the more powerful of the two sexes, if we don't have control or restraint of ourselves, society can it makes and breaks society. So this idea of a concept of masculinity or how a man should act versus how we may want to act, I can understand why a man would come up with that. That's what I think about.
just like Ty, you say like religion is a philosophy that man created to keep order, right? So yeah.
Religion to me is just a book of philosophy. It's just all it is. It's how society survives. Without that, we are animals. It's a belief that we are more than animals and that we should do things different than we are urged to do in our heart is what makes us supposedly makes us different. So, yeah, I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, no, no. Um, so with that understanding of the history behind it, does it change, for instance, Mo, does it change your basic principle of it being a bad thing or an oxymoron?
No, because
Mm-mm.
just because a person doesn't express their feelings to you or to the world doesn't mean that they're not emotionally intelligent.
And I don't think so either. As a woman, I think you can be one thing, like you can have one trait and not be that thing, right? So just because you have a problem or an issue, or you just don't feel like sharing, you're not in a comfortable space to be able to, I don't know, speak upon your feelings and share, you know all of the things with your partner. I don't think that within itself is toxic masculinity. I think it has to be a combination of aggression and bullying and misogyny, and you know what I mean, for you to be that.
But too, I don't think so. There's so many different you know ways I can dig into this topic. So for one, who are you sharing your feelings or your emotions with? I don't think women are equipped to understand, or are I don't think women have the ability to understand what men go through, because we live two different existences. Right? So sharing your problems and what you're going through with your wife serves no purpose, in my opinion. That's one. Number two is because men, we're solution based, right? Because a lot of times women tend to view the world through the lens of how they see it. Meaning, when a woman tells you her problems, a lot of times they're not looking for solutions. They're just listen. They're just looking for someone to actually sit there and listen, and to not say anything, and to uh, just be there to lend support as they're speaking. Men, we don't find benefit in that. Men, we look for, so we're solution based. This is why when a woman tells a man a problem, he gives her a solution. Sometimes it doesn't fare well, right? So that's one. Number two is you don't want a reactive. First, I would like to ask the people who wrote this, what does what does it look like when a man is emotionally available, and what does it look like when a man is quick to just react and open emotionally, right? Because there's a lot of things that's happening, right, that we have to deal with as men, and we can't be quick to just be reactive and respond to how what our emotions dictate. I think it's benefit and it's honor in a man taking a logical, rational approach to problem solving, and understanding that his emotions should never overpower his ability to act from a logical standpoint.
Okay. I feel so. I think being emotional and being able to effectively communicate are separate things. And sometimes we don't use the right word. Some women don't use the right word when they say, "Oh, you don't share your emotions." I think the majority of them are trying to say you lack communication skills, right? Because you don't necessarily have to be emotional, cry, yell, whatever that emotion is, where you can sit down and say, "Hey, I need to talk to you about something," or "Hey, this is on my mind." Um, we can take the emotion out of communication, and I think that that's the difference. Men don't open up, not necessarily um, hide their or be emotionalist,
But
right?
Tipper, what's the point of a man opening up to a person that's not equipped to handle his problems?
When you say a person's not equipped to handle it, are you just all right? Is it the people, the women that you have dealt with, you felt like you tried to do it and they were not able to handle it, therefore that is your basis, like because that's your experience? Are you saying in general women are not able to think constructively and also be a problem solver or come to some type of solution because they see a different perception or
And I just
different
think women are not
perspective?
equipped to handle masculine issues, right? It's better
What's
that
the
a man
Give me an example of a masculine issue that you
masculine.
think.
Oh, okay. So a masculine issue could be, um, I need to support a family. Things are not working out the way I thought they would have, and now I have to. continue to financially support my family. It could be another masculine issue could be um, I'm e- expanding into a new venture and I'm doing this amongst other men, right? So there's certain things that men have to do, right, to provide for other people. And a lot of times women are not equipped to be in that frame of thinking because they would never have to have that burden on them. And even
Okay,
if and Tiffany, even if they did have that burden on them, it won't be to the same expectation as it would be if it was a man.
Can
so
I add,
so go
can I
so
add
go ahead.
something?
Yeah.
Um, a man is supposed to be looked at as a leader, right? In this situation, how would you feel if the president came to you and asked you, "What should I do?" You would lose confidence in that president. You would no, you say no, but if I'm designed, you say no. Maybe you think differently, and that's good that you are. But there are not many women maybe like you, and maybe you're more equipped to handle those things than another woman. But if I come to you, like he said, I'm financially unable to pay the things that I need to pay to keep the family afloat, and I come to you, so a lot of women would take that as a man who is inequipped to lead because he's asking her about what this situation is or how should I go about it. A woman in her mind, I don't know, you're the man. That might be the response you might get. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't get that response, you might get an energy that dictates that, or just a, or you might even get a sympathetic ear, but it will never really solve your problem because at the end of the day, the bills still have to get paid. So it's like that's another reason why you're women are not always equipped because at the end of the day, I have to do something about this. There's a lot of problems that women have that you can talk about and probably just wait it out. I have to do something about that. And just talking to you and getting emotional support, while it might seem good in the short term, it won't solve the problem, nor will it make you be more confident in trusting me to lead you.
And,
Also, my biological role is to provide. So there's an inadequacy in telling you certain things that I'm going through that I might feel like I shouldn't even be able to. That's like me exhibiting a weakness to someone who probably shouldn't necessarily always see that because again, that you look to me to be a rock. Now you have to find a special woman who maybe you feel can handle that, but you often find that a lot of them can't.
and Tiffany, the quickest and here's the thing: when men see other weakness in men, that's when we take that man over and take over his village, right? So, like for instance, if most men who are dictators, when they confide in their soldiers and say, "Hey, I'm having problems advancing towards this country," a lot of times within your own military, men might see weakness in you, and that's a clear cut sign of this is a perfect time for you know
A
us
table.
to take over his spot. So if men can't show weakness amongst men, you definitely can't show weakness amongst your women, right? So
So
so like,
who do you show weakness to then?
sorry, say it
Who
again.
then who would you show weakness to?
I mean, so as a man, you have to have a trusted circle as a man, right? You have to have men that you can go to that experiences life like you experience life, right? Because you need to be around other men who are providers for their families, right? Who has done it before, who is doing it, men who are where you want to be or where you're trying to be. A lot of times when you go to a man and you guys talk it over and you can confide in him, you guys are coming from the same place. When you go to a woman, even though she might be open and willing to listen, women can't change how they feel about certain things. Just like for instance, this woman, she was an MMA fighter. She was on a Joe Rogan podcast, and her man were both MMA fighters. Like they were fighting on like the same card. And she told Joe Rogan that after she seen her husband get beat up in the octagon, she lost attraction for him right then and there. And this is the thing that I tell men. A lot of times women might say the politically correct thing because they may want to do a certain thing, but a lot of times women can't help how they feel. Like you can't help what turns you. Like I always say, attraction is not logical.
Mm-hmm.
Arousal is not logical, right?
Right.
A woman can't help what turns her on, what turns her off. So I say, just to be safe, figure your problems out. Go to other guys who live who maybe experience it. Talk to them and understand it from a masculine perspective, because your woman will appreciate you more after the problem is solved. And you say, baby, there was a little issue, but it's water underneath the bridge. That's what gives her confidence in you and your leadership. Like Tyree said, if you were at war, Tiffany, if you were at war and your general started coming back to the team crying, I don't know what to do, we're in the heavy fire. I'm like, what do we do?
Yo, hold
You,
on, bro. Your sound is going crazy, bro. You
oh,
sound
it
like you
is?
got a fan on or something, bro.
Nah, not at all.
Sound a little better now. I was trying not to interrupt, bro. That shit started
Oh, now,
getting
can you
worse.
hear me
Yeah,
now?
it's
Can you hear
better.
me?
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm saying is, even anybody that's following you and you're showing ineptitude and lack of leadership, whether they say it or not, they will lose faith and confidence in you.
That's a whole lot. Y'all both said a lot. I was taking notes.
Mm.
The whole lack of leadership, I think that's a lot to unpack. I think partner, the right partner is going to act like a teammate. If the quarterback might have to tell the tight end um or the running back, watch out for number 3. I'm telling you how to protect me. I need you to be aware of that. If the quarterback doesn't say it, he might get a pick, right? And so I feel like in a relationship, specifically, especially a marriage, it is teamwork. You've got Kobe and Shaq working together for the greater good of what's happening on the court and the organization as a whole. And if they're not communicating, this is what I need you to go there, I need you to defend this person, or they have that nonverbal language amongst themselves, they're not going to operate cohesively, right? So, of course, we're not saying men need to communicate and tell us all of their problems, right? Because, yeah, that could, if it happens more often than not, then yeah, now I'm going to start looking at you like you can't get right. You know what I mean? Like, why is it every other week you don't know how to do this, or you got all of these problems? Like, what's going on in your life? But the example that you gave, Mo, what was it? When I said what was something that would be an issue that you would have that you don't think your partner would be able to like understand, or you wouldn't go to your partner for?
So for me, I don't really even think about that because like everything.
You said money. You
Yeah, yeah, but no, I'm just putting that just for like the general sense of what
right,
I
right,
my problem would be. But but so let me just go back to one thing that you said. I don't look at relationships with men and women as team. I look at it as coach and player. The man's the coach and you're the player. We're not equal, right? It's more so of a I'm the boss, you're the employee. Because when a woman is with a man, she's not looking for a teammate. She's looking for someone better than her, right? So it's like I'm the owner of the team, you're the player of the team. I'm the coach of the team. I dictate what you do. We don't come together and talk about it as far as what my role is going to be, what your role is going to be. My role is already cemented. You're coming into my team, and I'm telling you how to be a dutiful worker to me. And that's the only way a relationship's going to work. It has to be like a dictatorship, and the man's the dictator, or the man's the president, or the boss, and you're the employee. That's the only way it's going to work.
I would
So
like
I don't
to
as
try to add something.
wait, but go ahead, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I'm not refuting anything you're saying, but I want to approach this from a different angle. She said something before. Is some of the choices you make a product of the things you've been through? To a degree, yes. Masculinity is also, some of it is learned behavior.
Absolutely.
We do what works. Men are adaptable, like you said, we're problem solvers. So we apply that same logic into everything. Why we do what we do is often because something happened that made us say that this is the way I should be in order to be better equipped to deal with these situations. It's
Hmm.
all adaptation. Um, Emotional unavailability comes from men seeing that women who see me be emotional don't respond well to it. It could be that you say that you have to find the right partner, but we deal with percentages. If I know 70% of women can't handle it, I'm not going to hope that you're the 30. I guess that's could, but that's not a smart way to go up. We go by percentages. So if it's 70% of women or 60, that's how we feel.
Hmm.
um we're going to we're going to act accordingly, which would be okay. The smarter thing to do is to keep that part of us reserved. um that could be for the emotion. A lot of that is learned behavior. A lot of what you could dictate as toxic masculinity is probably some sort of learned behavior. If you say stoicism, um it's okay. When being a leader, you don't want to see a leader cry. If like there's times where I've broken down in front of women and I should have been strong, and I realized that's the wrong thing to do. It made her. You could see the you don't. A woman's not going to tell you I lost confidence in you. It'll be in how she acts afterwards. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So what you do is like you try to teach men in the future, like if you want to preserve certain aspects of your relationship, one of those aspects is a woman looking at you as someone she can turn to. You don't want to look weak in those times. You might want to say like, oh, she might be the one, but what if she's not?
Right.
And then so it's like, I guess you could say, well, then you're better off without her. But I would argue more women are like that than they're not, and eventually you start attributing that being their nature. You might be able to say that some women can outthink their nature and be able to go against it and still love you through your weakness. But I would say ultimately, if most women are doing these things and not communicating to each other to do these things, it's natural within them. Like he said, the girl lost fucking love for the man because she saw him get his ass beat. It wasn't that he got his ass beat. It was that he did this. And this defense, this that motion of like submission to another man made
Yeah.
her lose
Helplessness.
attraction.
That's but that
You know,
but
so
doing that showing that you're intelligently defending yourself.
yeah, but again, she can't help it. But that's the thing. We're not talking. We would love to come across a woman who can think logically like you and say, that's, everyone's a human and men go through things, but most women aren't like that, and so we learn
Mhm.
based off of that.
Right.
and, and typically, so the reason why I said any relationship for a relationship between a man and woman to succeed, you have to be the coach, you have to be the player, is because you, as an owner of the team or as the leader of the team, as far as you're the owner or you're the coach or you're the general manager, you're not going to cry in front of your players anyway, right? Like the players don't have to know about the managerial things. As long
Hmm.
as the player is in the game and the player is still playing in that same arena with the same jersey, owners don't cry in front of players,
Right.
right? Coaches don't cry in front of players.
Hmm.
So in order for you and your girl to be teammates, that would mean that you guys are on the same level. You guys are not on the same level. So
Well, I would say so. I get your understanding. My understanding of what a partnership truly is just that. Of course, there's a team captain, there's a point guard, right? But you also have that player that helps you with assists and blocking, and that's supposed to be who your wife is, right? You lead the team, but your wife is also there to help out with blocking and assisting and defense. And so when you look at it from that point of view, guess what? The team captain, the point guard, you might make more money than me, right? You might have more endorsement deals than I do because you put more points up on the board every night. That would be the difference. You're the MVP of the team. I'm not. But without my help and assist and prayer and defense and all of that other stuff, you may not have been able to be the MVP, right? You may not have racked up so many points without that peanut butter and jelly type of mindset. And so and that's just me. That is how I view it. I don't necessarily need an owner or a coach in a relationship. It
No,
is teamwork.
no, but when I'm saying the owner, it's a different dynamic because if you're on the same team, you might be the MVP this year. Your wife might be the MVP next year. You might lead the team in scoring this year. Your wife might lead the team in scoring. There's a difference between a coach, right, and a player, and
Mhm.
an owner and a player.
Absolutely.
Right, players are on the same level. Now, some players might be more valuable, right? But this is why I say you always have to be better than your girl. You always have to be the coach of the team or the owner of the team. You can't be okay. Say somebody say Shaq and Kobe. One day Shaq might have a better. Well, one year Shaq might have a better year. One day Kobe might have a better year.
Yeah, I'm winning this year all year long.
Yeah,
2025 is my year. That's okay though. You know what I
you
mean?
can't have a relationship with your wife where she's better than you at anything. Like you can't be in a relationship with a woman where she's more competent than you. She can't make more money than you. She can't have better leadership qualities than you. She can't be more stoic than you. If you want it to work, can you be with a woman like that? Yeah, you could be with any kind of woman. But in order for it to work, a woman has to be able to look at her man and see that he's better than her in every regard. This is why I say you could be a LeBron, but if LeBron is in the room with the owner of the team, the owner of the team is the one that dictates how things go. So that's what I was saying to you. In order for it to like fully work, um, and as far as like what Tyree was saying, a lot of times you can't just hope that when you open up and you're vulnerable. So as a man, you're hoping that your woman is going to be understanding, is going to look at you the same. But why even put yourself in that predicament where you can use the situation as a chance to figure it out? And another masculine thing is to figure it out. When things are not working, you have to find another way because you're going to face adversity in the future, and we don't know how much adversity you're going to face. So you should take that as a no one's coming to save me. And in actuality, that's another masculine thing, is that no one's coming to save a man. As a woman, you could be unattractive, but there's some guy somewhere that's going to bring you in and take you in and expect nothing in return. There's so many men that do that. But as a man, if we don't save ourselves, no one's coming to save us. So that's another thing that men and women, um, that's a big difference between men and women, is understanding that no one's coming to save us and do for us if we don't do for ourselves.
I Ty, you made a comment about like what if we saw our president ask for help? And this is what I'm gonna say to this. We are not perfect. I don't know everything. You guys don't know everything. The president doesn't know everything. I actually love and appreciate someone, male or female, and everything in between, if they're they put their ego aside to say, I don't know, right? I need help. Bring in the experts. I know all of this stuff. I can tell you all day about early childhood education and business organization and DEI. I could sit and talk to you all day about it. But you ask me something that's not in my wheelhouse, I'm gonna say I don't know. But you know what? I bet you I have someone that does know. I'll get back to you. I respect that answer. I don't think that as humans, we expect everybody to have all of the correct answers for all of our solutions and problems. And so, if my partner, my husband, comes to me and says, yeah, I don't know. All right, well, then let's figure it out, And I respect the fact that, let's just say he lost his job, right? We're talking about money. He loses a job. Of course, he's going to look for a job, right? He's going to send out his resumes. He's calling up people, his connections. Da, da, da. But then, what if nothing pans out, right? You have to come home and you have to be like, "Hey, wife, money's going to be tight. You know, I lost my job." And hopefully, you have a strong enough woman to say, It is okay. Let's pray about it. What do you need me to do? Do you need me to fix your resume? Do I need to revise that? Hey, I might know some people that work here, or I can call somebody, or you know what I mean, and see if they have something available. But you want all hands on deck in a time of need, in a stressful situation where you you don't know what you're going to do next. That's go time. That's when I see how strong you are, right? Like, what the whole what do you bring to the table type thing is, how do you handle this situation? Are you going to be like a stuck up snooty type of bitch who's like, oh my god, I'm not going to cut spending and I'm not going to change how I live, and you know what I mean? Or are you really going to be like, all right, what do we need to do? Do we need to start a side business? Do I need to pick up more hours or an extra shift or whatever the case might be? That is how a marriage and a partnership is supposed to work. Imagine us, we're really amazing problem solvers. We are multitaskers. We can run a business with a baby on our hip, drive, and have a Zoom all at the same time while making doctor's appointments for our husbands and doing his checklist too, right? So imagine us not feeling comfortable enough to say, hey, I have this problem. With our partner, that would make you feel inept if your wife wasn't comfortable enough to come and communicate with you when there is an issue that affects not just you, not just her, but the whole entire family unit. And so I think that that's why it's really important to communicate effectively, right? Because how you communicate it is the biggest thing. If you're yelling, you're screaming, you're crying, you're over emotional, then yeah, that woman is probably after a certain amount of time going to be like, what the fuck are you bitching about? Like, I lose all respect for you. It's how you come to the situation, right? And bring it to the table is going to make a complete difference on how she sees and views you.
No, for sure. I mean, like, of course, you're gonna come and you're gonna tell her, listen, this is what it is. We're gonna cut back to part of being a leader too is to having adjustments already on hand, right? Like even if you're the president of a country and the economy's bad, how are you going to handle it? Okay, this is what the economy is right now. This is the adjustments that are already put in play for for us to come out of it. So if you're dealing with your family, you're going to go to your wife and say, listen, I lost my job, I have savings of this amount that's going to get us through these months. I'm already looking for a job. You tell your wife what you're doing. You don't come to her and ask her for solutions. You tell her, listen, that's what part of being a man is. Babe, I already put things in play for the family. I lost my job. That's what gives your wife confidence to know that you're figuring shit out. You have things settled out, right? You're making other moves. That's what part of being a man is finding other solutions. We're gonna have to cut back on spending. Instead of going out to eat 2 days a week, we're gonna go out to eat 1 day a week. Instead of you being able to spend money to go shopping here every single day or whatever, we're gonna cut back on this. So it's already having a game plan in case shit happens. So I don't think there's anything wrong with coming back to your family and letting them know that something unexpected happened, but how do you adjust for that? Do you have a game plan for adjusting for that? And that's the key. I'm not saying not to tell your wife, but you're not asking her for help. You're telling her, this is what we're going to do because I lost my job or because the deal didn't fall through. So we're not going to go on that vacation. And this is where she can be understanding. And then you'll see what kind of woman she is based upon her willingness to accept your adjustments.
Right. So do you feel like calling out toxic masculinity, do you think it makes men more intentional about how they show up? Like when you were called, Mo, when you were accused of it, did it make you self-reflect, or did it make you feel attacked and like shut down?
No, not at all. It didn't make me feel attacked. I just understand that they don't even. Most people, when I ask them what is masculinity, they have no clue what masculinity is. Like I tell people, like masculinity is not yelling and screaming. Masculinity is not going out to fight everybody. Masculinity is being calm, cool, and collected. Masculinity is talking calm. Masculinity is not being reactive. Masculinity is understanding who you are as a man and knowing what you need to do to be able to communicate the proper way. Masculinity is putting yourself second. Masculinity is making sacrifices for those around you. Masculinity is being a man of your word. Masculinity is also doing what you don't want to do, but do what you have to do so that not only you, but everyone else around you can benefit. So there's nothing toxic about that. So I think most people don't even know what masculinity is. So
Mhm.
we have to get into discussion of what's your definition of masculinity, because you couldn't think anything like that. In any of the things that I just named, nothing's toxic about that at all. So
Okay.
yeah.
Ty.
Yeah, I had something from last time, but it goes so quick. I try not to make it sound bad. You said a lot of things. You said, if you're not overly emotional, who's to determine what's overly? That's already like, yeah, but then that becomes an arbitrary metric. Then you said, this podcast seems like it should be a lot more aimed towards women, because you should teach women to be more capable of shouldering the burden of men, so that I feel more comfortable talking to you, because most men have an experience of showing weakness to a woman and that leading to that woman being less attracted to them, and that woman going towards a man who was uh who showed less emotion.
Mhm.
um so I think there's a degree of education that needs to be, for the women here, to say that you need to be able to shoulder those burdens when those men bring it to you, because when you make a man feel inadequate, or when you leave him when he's at his lowest, at those moments, those are the moments where you're supposed to be a support system. You say that it's Shaq and Kobe, but there is no, when I'm down and you don't decide to step in and help me out, then what is it? What dynamic is it really? It's only when I'm of benefit to you, or when I'm at my highest, that you're going to stand here. Then that's why we learn that's why we adapt to don't show any emotion, because
Right.
if I show it to her, there's a possibility that it's going to make her shut down or make her move away from me. Um, and you said another word, hopefully. Hopefully you have that kind of woman. That's the same thing we think, hopefully, but you stop hoping after a while, and you start saying, okay, well, most women just don't are not like this. And we don't operate from the realm of hope. We operate from the realm of what is. Most men start out with the idealistic idea of a relationship that's like, we want you to be everything that you said, but we realize that it's not like that when we go outside and we experience life. That's what makes us change. Um, there was something else, but go, no, go.
I feel like the hopefully comment, it can go both ways, because we hope that we have a man that knows how to communicate effectively with us, that doesn't that can communicate their emotions, their feelings, their thoughts, their needs without yelling, without, being disrespectful, or without possibly crying, because that's another form of emotion, right? So, we
But Tiffany, a man might can't control like the crying. Like he might just come out and just pour out and sob on your shoulder. Like women say things, but I don't think they're ready for how it's gonna come. You can't control in which the format. I'm sorry, in which the form that it comes to you. A woman might say, "Hey, I want a man that's emotional." Some women I've heard say, "I want a man that's emotional. I want a man that's comfortable sharing his emotions." You don't know how those emotions. You can't say you want an emotional man and then control how emotional he is, or
right.
or how he showcases his emotion. He might come to you and cry like, "Baby, oh my god, I don't know what to do." Starts whining and snotting
I've
on your
heard
shoulder.
this.
Like that shit may happen. Are you ready for that? So you can't control you can't control what a person does when you ask for it. That's like being in beat.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you
Say,
might be
say
like,
cry, but not too much. You
But
don't cry too much.
no, 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 but how often? I mean, if you have this ideal man, right? But you've known him for 10 years, you've been in a relationship for 10 years, and in year 5 he comes, crying, snotting, oh my god, I lost my job and I'm the breadwinner and I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, in that moment, absolutely the woman should be, empathetic and understanding and comforting, and you know what I mean. I don't That would be one of those, I guess, like, I don't want to say beautiful moments in a relationship, but like that's acceptable, right? But if someone can't get past a regular conversation about something without going through the theatrics, then that's where it becomes like, okay, what's happening right now?
but
You
Tiff,
know,
but we can't control how a person like the way they communicate it to us. See, here's the thing: you open up Pandora's box, you start to say, hey, men should start to be open emotionally. We can't dictate how that man's going to show those emotions. And how many men have been burnt? This is why there's like a running thing amongst men. Never share, never open up to a woman because the first chance she gets when you're into argument or anything, she's going to use that shit against you. How
Mm.
many men? How many men have suffered from that where they opened up and told the woman something and they got burnt?
I'm so sorry that, like,
No, not me. I'm just in
yeah,
general.
but that men are experiencing that at, a high rate. Like, there is something that's happening and shifting, and like that
But
needs to
and,
be
but you
studied.
should apologize for who women are like that. Like,
Do
here's
you
the thing.
believe women care about men's feelings?
Yes.
Yeah, Tiff, come on.
Everything about how we live in modern society would say no. Women think men are statues, like just obelisks. That most women I've heard in Instagram, I'm surprised. They'd be like, I'm surprised he has feelings. Like a woman has to damn near see you cry or break down, and sometimes just to see you care. That's why there's some women are very toxic in certain relationships because they have to hurt you to see some type of emotion to say, oh, he does care about me. Women
Right.
believe that men are fucking statues. No, we learn to be this way. The world makes us this way. It's not just women, it's the world in general. Like he said, no one gives a fuck about what happens to a weak man. A man
Right.
that is weak is left by the side of the road. You don't know. So you learn very quickly, suck it up, get it done. Because when you're weak, it's survival of the fittest. Women have your bailout plan will always be a man. If you're weak or something in an area, there's a man who will care about you. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? As a man, there is no one saying, the woman is not going to say, oh, he can't get a job. And you better have some phenomenal dick or something like that for you to be like, I got to save this guy. Like, there's not happening for us. So
I feel like
we're,
it's a dog chasing its tail, right? Because
it's
you
a
guys
circle,
say
but
we're
it's
not showing our
necessary.
emotion. I'm not going to open up, right? Because that's going to lead to hurt and my ego getting bruised. And but at the same time, you're saying, well, women are saying don't show emotion or asking. I mean, I feel like more women are asking for men to show to be more emotionally intelligent, not
You want
necessarily.
that from the man you love, and that's the problem. You want that from a very specific man, and that's one problem because then it's like, okay, um, what if you're not feeling me like that? Like you say that from you usually say that when you are feeling that way about a man that you really, really care about that won't show it.
Right.
But there are plenty of men who already show it and show that this doesn't work this way. So you want that and you want that from a man who's already showing you that he's most of the time you want it from a man who's not doing that in the first place, which is why you want that. But the reason why he got this far in life was because he suppressed those emotions and did what he had to do. You're asking him
Mhm.
to go against everything that he learned to be so that you can feel better about because you want to feel more not you, but women
Yeah.
want to feel more secure in their spot. You want to take a guy because in order to be competent in this world, I argue you have to put your emotions away. There's a lot of things you have to do. Like I said, masculinity is adaptation to the world around you. You become what you have to be to succeed. So you become emotionless because it's necessary. You become this because it's necessary. So you want me to go against everything that I taught myself to be the man that you're attracted to in the first place, and then tell me not to be that because you're not attracted to the men who are already emotional. You wanted
Right.
this from a man who started out stoic, and you're trying to bring emotion out of him.
Yeah.
There are plenty of men who came up to you, I love you, and that didn't work. You didn't see him. So it's like what you want is, in a sense, like it's kind of like an oxymoron. You want to, but this is what I always say: a woman's goal is she wants to break the strongest man she can, which is like she wants the strongest man she can to be weak for her.
Okay. I'm devil's advocate. Is there something wrong with that though? I'm asking you to show me weakness, right? Like I'm asking you to show
No,
me.
because you're see, but here's the thing: your woman always challenged you to see if you're still that guy. Even in the animal kingdom, a female animal will play fight with the male lion just to test his strength. Right? You should never show weakness in front of any fucking body. Nobody.
I've learned this. Hold on, 99% of the life worked out for me being this way. Most women I've learned to engage with in this sort of way because you, like I said, this doesn't happen. You don't wake up as a man and say, "I want to be heartless." You try to be emotional, it doesn't work, and you go, you know what? Shut that shit off. That don't work. So now I've learned to be this way. Arguably, it's the reason you're attracted to me in the first place. Now you're saying that the man that I've become, don't be that man anymore. But I had to learn to be that man for you to see me as the type of man that you will even want to be soft with you. Because if I came soft, it wouldn't be this way. Because you wouldn't even see me as a leader in the first place. So it's like you can't you want to pick and choose, not you, I'm not saying you, but I'm saying women like to pick and choose. You can't turn off and on certain attributes in a man. It's not like you can't just do that. If he's this way, he's going to show you love the best way he knows how from his stoic masculine way. Now as men we try to compromise, so you'll see men become softer for their women, but ultimately if we become too soft, there's we run the risk of you not seeing us the same way. And like you say, like, well, trust that I will be the one. Like, how can I trust that when my whole life has shown me that doesn't work?
That's fair.
And you know what, Tiffany? If women wanted softer men, they would be fucking softer men, and the hard men would disappear overnight. If women like who really benefits from fucking masculinity and the patriarchy? Women do, because weak men suffer in the patriarchy. Because the patriarchy only benefits the top fucking dogs. Remember, men are are victims of patriarchy, right? And they're victims of masculine because it's always the top tier guys. That's
Right.
the little guys, right? As a woman, at least you could be the wife of a top tier guy, or you can be one of the girlfriends of a top tier guy. Men, we're not on the boat. If we don't buy the fucking boat, or if we're not friends and business partners with the man that owns the boat, we don't get on the fucking boat. But women get on the boat. So if women wanted to eliminate narcissists, stop fucking narcissists. If women wanted more nice guys, start fucking more nice guys, and guys will be nicer. Whatever you guys are fucking, we're gonna become.
We
So if
adapt to what we see.
emotional men, fuck the emotional men. But the emotional men are outside in the fucking rain with the flowers, like just like flopping. We
You're right.
see
Like nice guys finish last. That
exactly.
whole
So it starts and ends with who you. Here's my thing. That's why I always say this: women vote with their pussy. Excuse my French. I don't give a fuck what a woman says she likes, how she likes it, who is she fucking.
right.
I don't care what you're telling me you like. Who is her ex-boyfriend? Who is she fucking? And why does she even want nice guys now? Because she's been fucking all the bad boys. So if you want nice guys, vote that with your fuck the nice guys. Fuck the soft guys, fuck the emotionally available guys, and leave the narcissistic chads that are masculine and stoic. Leave them alone.
Fair. That's
Right?
fair argument. That is so true. In a perfect world, that might start happening. I don't know.
Whatever you feed will grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you give that energy to, it'll come back. I think that I'm gonna go back to Ty. You you made a comment about how you women expect men to change after a while for them, and it could be it could be a very small change in their softness or maybe their delivery, right? Because in a relationship it is hard work, right? And so you're always growing and learning. And you know what? I yelled at her this time and she didn't react really well. So, you know what? Let me do it. Hey, baby, let's talk next time, right? Like, let me change my approach. You get more bees with honey than vinegar, right?
I'm sorry, I know
I
you
agree
asked,
with you.
but that's not. Here's the thing too. That's not yelling. Is not masculinity. That's femininity.
I was about to say the same shit. This is the problem. There's a lot of traits that any toxic masculine trait is usually a bitch ass trait, and you're saying that because it's coming from a man. But you're saying that, but when you talking about a man yelling at you, granted, there's some shit that women do deserve to get yelled at, and there's times where a masculine man might do some bitch ass shit. But that was some bitch ass shit. The best thing, but this is again, this goes back into the stoicism thing. It's a learned behavior. You go, okay, well, what am I gonna do? Lash out, or am I gonna just hold it in? Because it's like
Mhm.
there's times to say as a man that I don't feel certain things would be a fucking lie. A
Right.
woman pisses you off, you're going to be pissed off. You're going to feel fear. You're going to feel everything. It's about what do you do in the moment.
Right.
So when a woman is, let's say, coming at you in a certain way, and you say, I want to yell, you yelling is you giving into your feelings. Giving into your feelings is a feminine trait. Therefore, it's not toxic masculine. You're being a feminine woman in that. You're being a feminine in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Masculinity is a choice. It's a constant choice. Every second and every day, every choice you make, you can make a masculine choice or a feminine choice. Everything. Like it, even down what you eat. If I drink coffee, am I gonna put a lot of sugar and fucking things in it because I want it to taste good, or am I gonna drink the black coffee because that's actually better for me? Everything you do, you can do in a way that it's because masculinity is doing what you know is right, even though you hate to do it. That's what masculinity is. Masculinity is like, yo, this girl pissed me off, and I want to fucking leave her on the side of the road, but I'm gonna make sure she gets home safe because that's the fucking masculine thing to do. My feelings tell me throw this bitch out my car. But
Right.
the masculine thing to do is to make sure she gets home safe because that's my job. It's a philosophy at the end of the day. But you accept that that's your role in nature because I am the stronger sex. I am the one who can honestly I can destroy or build this world. So it's like you make that choice as a man. Am I going to be a good man or a bad man? That's why a lot of being a man is philosophy because I can go this way or that way. Who can stop me but another man stronger than me? So
Mm-hmm.
honestly, everything is guided by my own moral code because I can decide to go out here and kill as many people as I can and take and rape and pillage until someone decides that they're strong enough to stop me, unless I have something governing me. That's why
Right.
religion is important. That's why this whole masculinity I think is important. Women don't really have to contemplate what they have to be. You get to be whatever you want to be. We have certain things we have to do to preserve society.
Okay.
Like,
I
like,
get
Tiff, trust me, you don't want to be around emotional, like, and I'm not even saying overly emotional. Trust me, Tiff, you don't want to be around emotional men.
Most gangsters are feminine.
Imagine if men acted the same way that women fucking acted, but with the strength of a man. You know how much fucking carnage and destruction will be going on right now? Like
That's what a lot of people are. That's what it is.
relationships, Tiff, and I've been in relationships where if I did to her what she did to me,
it.
she'll be in a fucking body bag right now because
Yeah.
my strength. Women are allowed to get away with certain things. The girlfriend that I have, one day, just because she said I wasn't paying attention to her, because she and I said, "Really, babe? Let's walk through it. Let's walk through why you think I wasn't paying attention to you." She just said, "You're right," and she started crying because she couldn't control her emotions. But I accept that because I knew what the fuck I was signing up for. I don't view her as my equal because
Mhm.
if I viewed my girlfriend like I view myself, we wouldn't be together.
Right.
It's not just gender roles as far as protection and provision. It's also emotional roles.
Mm-hmm.
Emotional role is not the same as my girl's emotional role. My girl could come in a fucking house right now and say, "Baby, I'm overwhelmed," and she does it, and she makes great money. She's a PA, but she's like, "I don't want to work. I just don't want to do." She starts shaking, "Baby, please." And I'm like, "Okay, baby." That makes me. It turns me on more. It makes me want to say, "Damn, I love her more. She's vulnerable. I want to step it up." If I did that, imagine her coming home and I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to do it," and I'm crying. Ah,
Right.
it's
Yeah,
over.
it's over for that. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yo,
Hmm.
she'll
Hmm.
like she'll dry up. But when she cries, to me, it makes her sexy to me. I'm like, damn, like she's really vulnerable. Like that's my little girl. Like I love her. Like that shit makes me want to step it up more. So, and I can't help I feel like that, Tiff.
If I
No,
send you an
and I think that's
Instagram video,
beautiful. I think that's beautiful because I'm not a crier.
But no, but Tiff, even if you weren't a crier, how does it feel, Tiff? Like, yo, Todd, let me say this, Todd. Um, Todd, like this is something that
I'm
I want
listening.
to pay attention to. How does it feel? Like that's such a fucking privilege to be with another human being and they don't ask nothing of you other than what you can do personally within a relationship. Like, think about that. You're not valued for anything other than how you treat me. A man will never be fucking valued for just how he treats you. He has to go outside and bring things home. He's a hunter gatherer, right? Like,
Okay.
like I always say, a woman is born with everything she needs. The things that makes a woman great, she can sit home and just change her mind. The things that make me great, I have to go outside and get. Like we're not. If I'm not bringing home the fucking bacon, it's over. And my
Right.
girl can have a bunch of weak moments. She could cry and baby, I don't know. I can't even ask my girl, babe, what are you talking about? I don't know. I don't know. And just let me just I don't know. Yo, she's accepted for crying and then not knowing why, and then the next day saying, "Babe, I'm sorry, I had an emotional moment because my period or my hormones." This is why men, we don't have like hormonal shifts like you do, right? With the period, because you guys are built fucking differently. But the problem is, Tiff, when we try to make it seem like women and men are the same, that's why we fucking lose. There
Right.
has to be clear cut.
No, we're not the same. You know what I mean? Fundamentally, we are not. And I agree to a certain extent where you see society saying we're equal, but we're wired differently, so we can't be the same. The operator, the robot that flips the french fries is completely different than the robot who puts cars together, right? They're just and so to say that they're equal and they're the same is impossible. I think that this conversation about toxic masculinity and how it plays out in society, we could probably do a part 2 about this, because I think that
You have to, dive into.
yeah, there is so much to unpack. But I'm going to ask you guys 3 questions.
Okay.
And yes or no. We need to raise boys who know that crying is okay.
Wait, are you asking us separately?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, who
No.
you asking?
All right.
No.
No. Ty says no. What do you
Both
say,
of
Mo?
us. She's
No.
asked-
No.
Okay. Next question.
No.
Shut up. Ty. You see asking for help as a strength.
Yes. Yes.
You want just a yes or no?
Just a yes or a maybe. I don't know.
No, it does depend, but I'm gonna say mostly. I want to, as much as it sounds like no. I'll say no.
Okay, we got a yay from Mo and a nay for Ty on that one.
The reason why I say no is part of being a good leader is knowing when you don't know. Here's the thing.
Yes. Knowing your strengths and weaknesses is great. I agree with that.
Some men will burn down the city just to rule over the ashes.
Yeah, that's happening right now, but that's a whole nother podcast.
Well, nigga, if we get to elaborate, then I could elaborate, nigga. I said I had a reason why I say what I say. Yes, I agree with what you say, but we're not elaborating.
Hold on, but one thing about Ty, what he's saying, I agree with Ty, and I know the context in which he's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Asking for help from your woman, fuck no. But you said asking for help.
No, even asking for help from your woman, like knowing what you can and can't do is yes, but anytime you're asking for help, ultimately you're admitting that you can't do something or you're unable to do something. I would say either anytime you have to go outside of yourself, you can be considered a weakness. Now, I'm not saying that it's good to know your strengths and weaknesses. A good CEO knows where to put people. I can't do this, you do this. I can't do that, you do that. But then I also depend on that person to do that. So, to me, that can be a weakness. Because then if you don't no longer there, am I never gonna? I agree that you should know your strengths and weaknesses, but to a degree, should you not also learn that skill? That's why I don't want to go into it. But ultimately, no. Last question. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like no, I respect that. I respect that.
And you know that you don't have to earn love by suffering in silence.
False.
Wait, say that again. You don't have to earn love by
men have to earn love. Men have to earn love. What my boy Chris Rock said. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to be elaborating. Men are loved conditionally. This is not this is this hard truth. I had a friend, yo. He know who I'm talking about. You can't say it, but we had a conversation where we was explaining to homeboy, and he finally came to the revelation that yes, women are only gonna love me if I benefit them. There's not a woman that loves you who wants to be with you for the rest of their life that you don't greatly benefit their life, bro. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Like it's rare. You compare to one. Go ahead.
Tip, look up Briffel's law. Briffel's law. Briffel was a surgeon, and later on in life he became a philosopher and anthropologist. It's called Briffel's law. No female in any species. Females dictate the terms of the relationship based upon the benefit that they get from said relationship, right? So females in other species, including human beings, They only stay in relationships that benefit them, Tiff. This is Bristol's law.
The female, not male, determines all of the conditions of the animal family. Where the female can derive no benefit from association with the male, no such action takes place.
And this is some shit I learned arbitrarily through living life. And then there's a motherfucker who studied it. This is how you know shit. Like, you know,
Okay.
it's like that's
Surgeon, and later in life, as he became older, he became a philosopher and social scientist. He said this shit in the 1800s.
It's true. I say that nothing is going to happen without a woman's consent unless the guy is a toxic masculine.
No, but Tiff, but also to benefit. If she's not, a woman doesn't stay where she's not benefiting.
Absolutely.
Right?
Why should she? A lot of people, a lot of them do. Let me get this. A lot of them do. They have more heartache and hell and stress.
Women
And
initiate
they,
80%.
huh?
Women initiate 80% of divorce. A lot
I
of them
understand.
don't.
But they stay much longer, right? They stay longer than they
they
should
don't
have.
stay forever. Ain't no women dying like that. Just cause she staying for the moment means she ain't about to switch up. Just cause I stay for you for 2 years don't mean monkey branching. They're going to monkey branch. As soon as she finds a man that can supplement what you got going on, and he ain't doing what you doing, she will pivot. Like you're not seeing a bunch of women. Most women say, "I would rather die than be unhappy." Like, what do you
Yeah,
mean? Like, so there's no way. So like, there's no
Tiff,
yes. Just because a woman goes through a bad time with a man, she's going to shift. Men go through bad relationships. Niggas die in bad marriages where this woman never really did that much for him, but he just
yeah.
niggas just stay off of principle. Like I've been here, this work. You know you do your shit. I guess I accept
Show
your
me,
bullshit. That
Go ahead, Mom.
Tiff, isolate both sexes, right? When you look at gay men, isn't that kind of interesting? Like, let's just be honest about this. Let's look at data and stats. Two, a lesbian couple has higher divorce rates than gay men. So it's just in a man's nature to work through it and suffer. And here's another part of masculinity, since we were on the topic of masculinity. Men have to be comfortable suffering. It's suffering that makes you become a better man. It's like being birthed in the darkness. It's like being in the dark, right? Makes you comfortable in the dark. So it makes you become better. You suffer. The only way to obtain greatness is to suffer. Suffer in the weight room. Suffer with your discipline. Suffer by not eating what you want to eat just because it tastes good. Suffer by waking up in the morning and running that extra mile.
it's
Suffer.
a
Like,
daily choice. I say that it's a choice in everything you do. Everything you do, there's a masculine way to go about it and a feminine way to go about it. And the
Right.
truth is that we benefit more. We benefit you and society more when we choose that suffering willingly. We become better. Women are not better from trauma. When men become better from trauma.
I hope you
Uh,
guys become better because I see a lot of you guys suffering in silence, by the way, and not doing the work to self reflect and to say what I won't do the next time around or what I'm going to change or what, you know what I mean? Y'all just be sitting and suffering
I
and
think
being.
no,
most men problem is because they look outside of themselves for the solution. Like most of your problems, if you just work on fixing your money or your body, I promise you 90% of men's problems will disappear. A lot of our problems become from the fact that we don't have the autonomy to control the world around us the way we want to. Like a lot of that comes from my girl left me probably because you don't have things under control the way you want, or you're too focused on that. Fuck her. Like get your life together and it should like we our depression comes from our looking outside of ourselves. Just work on your. I promise you, it sounds so
Yep.
fucking corny, but do it. I swear to God, as you do it, you start detach yourself from having a relationship or anything, especially as men. It's funny because women live more masculinely than men nowadays. Because a woman would tell you, focus on your career. Don't worry about this. Da-da-da-da. Why do women have the fucking way that we have? It be niggas heartbroken and I went through it because I was taught wrong. This is what happens when you teach people wrong, and this is why
Yes.
that's why gender roles and things are important. Because
Yes.
as a man, I went through heartbreak thinking about girls and being in love at 19. I should have been chasing money, but I wasn't taught that. I
Yeah.
wasn't taught that. I was taught to be in this new modern emotional society to be emotional and care and do that. That's not what's going to benefit me. So I had to
Mm.
learn. You put people in arrested development when you teach them the wrong way. Now I gotta go unlearn feminine shit that I was taught because I was like that. I was taught this shit was okay. That's not okay. But you're
Yep.
teaching women to be more masculine. Women are taught not to think about men, not to do. That's what a man should be doing because arguably that was what makes you a better partner as a man. That doesn't women doing that don't make them better partners. A woman focusing on her career doesn't necessarily make her a better partner
Do you believe in
necessarily.
autocorrect? You know, when the pendulum shifts and then it
Yes,
shifts
I believe
away,
that's what's going to happen in society because we're going
and
to
then
so much extremes.
yes,
When you go to so much extremes, eventually you're gonna flip back. Once women become so masculine, they realize, yo, we flipped the whole shit over. Now we the men. Y'all gonna be like, yo, you know what? We had it good. Like it's gonna be some shit like that where there's women. You see it now where there's women fighting women now, where they're like, I want to be traditional, and you're not gonna make fun of me for that, and you're not gonna sit here and
the
Remember, I
trad
said
wife.
it's gonna be a civil war amongst women.
I could see that happening. I could also see a civil war happening amongst men because we not even a civil war, but it has to be an awakening. This is what I go through. This is the fucking reason why I do this shit. Is because I want to teach men. I was a soft guy. I'm like what 29. I grew up in the era when they taught niggas all this soft shit, and I had to unlearn it because I had to go through life. And I was like, no, I gotta fuck. This is not how. This is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. And so instead of having people younger than me or my age, don't go through. It's not. It's not the way. It's not the way. Like I would like to like you. I want to. It's nice to believe in fantasy. I would like to believe that I can just be however I want to be, and people will love me for that. But that's not the world we live in as men. It's
Mm-hmm.
not the world we live in, and the sooner you accept that, the sooner you have a chance at something you call happiness, because even the thing you call happiness is going to be constant grueling work to maintain that. So there's really no such thing as happiness for a man, because even when you were teach that so-called happiness, you got to work every day to make sure that shit is maintained, or it will fucking be fleeting. Only a woman can have an idea of I never have to work again, because
Which
there's a man who can potentially give you that.
But no, and not working again. Let me clarify that. Is
Taking care of a
literally
family is a lot of
living
work.
princess life. You don't take care of kids. You go to yoga and you do this and then the spa every day. You're
But
not
you can
cleaning
you can at least dream that dream. I'm not saying
right.
that it happens, but you can at
You have
least
a
dream it.
maid, you have a maid, you have a cook, you have a chauffeur. That is, I don't have to work ever again.
Being a housewife is a lot of work. I'm not downplaying just being at home as a woman. What I'm saying is that you can at least that is something you can dream. There is never a dream where I can have that because there was never someone I can depend on outside of me.
But you know what's so crazy though? Even the demand of having kids, a lot of men are even demanding women to have kids. There's times where women are telling men I'm not gonna have any kids, and they're still being taken care of, right? Like the birth rate is down. So what I'm saying is, no matter how unattractive, how obese the woman is, there's some guy out there that she can fucking say he'll take care.
He
Men, we
will
don't
ease
have
the burden of my existence somehow. He will. You will find
men.
someone who will ease the burden.
You got two jobs just to take care of a woman that's not even attractive, because a
Yeah.
lot of men are desperate. Men don't have the opportunities. It might not be the man that you want, but there's a man out there that will take care of most women. Men, we don't have that luxury to think like that, like Tyree was saying. We can't even fucking think like that.
I think that some men now are thinking that way. Like we're talking about that pendulum shift where like they're like, well, fuck this shit. I'm not, you know, breaking my back working for a woman and a family. Like, who's doing that? I'll stay home and live in my parents' basement.
But
Like,
but he's not going to have access though, because there's other guys still willing to pay the price, right? Like the sexual marketplace is deregulated now. Like there's some guy that's still willing to step up and do that.
No,
So
she's
even
right though. There's a community of call. It's called Men Go Their Own Way. There are men who are essentially saying these standards I'll never live up to. Fuck it, I'm not even gonna try. I'm
I'm
just going
agreeing.
to do.
MGTOW, yes, I agree. The art, but there's still more men that's still willing to pay the price. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but they're opting out the game in general. See, as a woman, you could when we opt out and choose to be fucking hermits because that's all we can get. Like either
right.
you play as a man, either you become what women want, or you ain't gonna get no women.
No,
As
I
a woman,
agree.
you can find a man who accepts whoever you are as a
No, I'm
woman.
saying
There's a man
yes, but there's still men, right? And like a large, like there's large numbers of men that's still going to pay the price.
that we're
Yes,
saying the
there's a
same
bunch.
thing. We're saying the same thing.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying yes, there's men that's opting out, but there's a bunch of men out there that's still giving women whatever they want. That's what I'm saying.
Men die alone quietly. That's what men have been dying alone quietly for years. Weak men. There's a lot of niggas who get unseen for years. There's a lot of niggas who don't. Men die alone quietly all the time.
Yeah. But Tim, just
Yeah.
to go back to the original, like your topic at hand about toxic masculinity, I don't think it exists. I think that that was a phrasing term, put on a word that's not justified. I don't think there's anything toxic about masculinity in its truest form. Now, if you're mis you know, if you don't have the right definition for masculinity and you start to say those traits are toxic, cool, but it's not masculinity. So you will have to like come up with a different phrase. Not you, but the people that use
Yeah,
it.
society to redefine. And I mean, we do that all the time, right? How about, for instance, the R word? You you know, that was a medical term. We don't use that word now. It's outdated. It's disrespectful. It's,
I had a different R word in mind, boy. I fucked up. Okay, now I caught on now. I caught on now. There's still one
okay.
where your
And
mind,
we,
your
Uh,
mind, your mind. Not I had
yes,
a different. I was like, nigga, that was the medical.
R word, what R? But
When
you
you're
know
it's
what?
not.
not
I
the one.
understand that maybe it's time to look and restudy that, and you never know. They might redefine it with a
Well,
new.
I'm gonna say two more things and then I'm done because I know Tiffany's trying to wrap it up. That's why she gave us the final exiting questions. But that's like what a teacher does. Like, what did you learn today? But toxic masculinity, arguably, like I said, is just feminine traits that are coming from a man. And so if we and I also think it's dangerous because like I said, I grew up in an era where they were teaching niggas to be he's this nigga is lucky because he grew up before that, so you got to see masculinity kind of before that, and then you got to see the world change, so you know that it's bullshit. I grew up in a world where they taught you this shit, where they taught you that men were always the problem and all of these things. You know what that made me? Someone who was scared to be a man because in every way I'm trying to always think, well, men are the problem. What did you do? So it makes you softer. It makes you less you walking on eggshells because you feel like you are the problem. You're basically teaching young boys. See, toxic masculinity teaches young boys that they are the problem before they even become a man. So now I have to be wary of these own. I can't be too competitive. I don't want to be too assertive. I don't want to be too. I'm scared you can't even ask a girl out anymore because is that am I doing something wrong by asking her out? If I hold the door for her, am I insulting her? This is what you
Yeah,
create. Then you create men who are afraid to be men because it's like then you're like, well, I just want a man who treats me like a woman. A man who treats you like a woman knows that you're inferior to him because that's what he's taught. He's taught that women are to be taken care of, and so he's taught that men are to be strong. Women are not saying weaker in a sense of well, they're weaker vessel, but you have gender roles are important. This is why it's important. The man that treats you like a woman is a man who understands very fully that we're different and who is not shamed upon being a man. When you say toxic masculinity, little boys, you make them scared to be men.
mm, mm.
And you had a whole thing about that, Ty, on the podcast that we did before about how men are being shamed out of their masculinity. So
It's scary. I told you I lived through it. That's why I say I lived through it. I thought I'm the reason why I have this happy medium is because I started out soft because I thought like the whole my whole life was like men are wrong. If a guy gets a divorce, if they get a divorce, it's a man's fault somehow. What did he do to the wife? It's always like that.
Yeah,
It's always dictated like that. That somehow the man did something wrong. He's angry. He's mean. He's this. The woman is perfect. She's an angel. This gives us those rose tinted glasses about women. This is why we don't think women are evil until we see women do evil shit. Like a lot of men don't even know that how evil a woman can get and how heartless she can be until it happens to them. That's another thing that gets us red pill or whatever you want to call that awakening that we have where we're like, oh, this is not, we're not playing the same game. Like
I don't
we
know.
thinking women,
I feel like I want to tell you to like pause, Ty, because we have to do a part two, and like what you're
yeah,
talking about right now is like perfect.
yeah.
yeah, no, I can stop, but I can go or stop. But that's yeah. I told you I have a lot to say. I'll stop here though.
Like this is your episode. So however you want to exit this, exit this.
Um, so I mean, at the end of the day, toxic masculinity. I feel it isn't about tearing a man down or attacking masculinity itself. It's just about, I don't know, calling out or challenging the harmful behaviors and beliefs that keep us as a society from progressing. Um, True strength isn't about how much you suppress or dominate someone or control. It's about being able to lead and like take accountability and showing up with courage and compassion and having good morals and principles. So we can have these honest conversations without like defensiveness and arguing and creating, like stirring the pot. Um, and
Yeah,
I'm looking
absolutely.
forward to part two of this conversation.
For sure, for sure.
Me too.
This,
I have so much more. I have
yeah,
so
this
much more.
I feel like I didn't really feel, not feel, but I didn't think that I really
This
contributed.
nigga don't even want to say feel for that. Nigga, you could be a little. This nigga say, oh, I don't want to feel nothing. Nigga, chill out. Nigga said, oh, I don't want.
No,
This nigga crazy, son. Nigga said, well, I don't want to feel.
effort, to use the word think.
Nigga said, I know.
No, nah, but I want to contribute better, and I think that part two, I'll be a little bit more prepared and I'll contribute uh, more productively.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I've been all over the place, but this is a great topic.
It was Tiffany. I appreciate this topic. This
Thank you.
is amazing, and I think that it was the right time, and I'm excited for part two. The Guys Podcast. Until next time, this was the topic. What is masculinity? We had Taria Costa, Tiffany, Akhtar Muhammad. Until next time, we out.
Peace.
Yeah.